Let's go to this conversation. Acting Public Protector Advocate Kholeka Gcaleka has come under fire for her decision that her office will not pay for some of the legal fees of suspended Public Protector Advocate Buswe Mkhwebane. Now, the ATM has accused her of being biased in this nature. At the same time, the City Press newspaper is painting a picture of what appears to be a strained relationship between the two. But what exactly is going on and what implication does this have when it comes to the work of that office? Let's speak now to Mpumelelo Zikalala, who is with Zikalala Attorneys and is also a legal analyst. Mpumelelo, it certainly cannot be good what we are reading in this in the City Press, for example, about what looks like a public spat.
Not at all, especially with regards to an office which holds such an important job and important role. Let's remember, we have nowhere to turn to as members of the public, either in the Office of the Public Protector, if we are mistreated by any government department. Now, if the ones in which we are supposed to run to are being mistreated are engaged or allegedly engaged in this particular public spat, the question or the major, where does it leave us? Where are we going to run to in instances where we need justice? It would look like the office is not really delivering on its core deliverables, which is to protect us as per the Constitution, or acting as a proper Chapter 9 institution and engaging in other activities which are not going to benefit either of any South Africans or even the office itself.
When one looks at the history of what has been going on here, and it's also contained in this particular article, there was also an issue around what the acting public protector calls a misrepresentation when it comes to lawyers' letters, that the suspended public protector had delegated some duties to her and she wasn't happy about that. When it comes to that particular letter and how she then addressed the office of the state attorney, were you surprised that she had to even go as far as going to the state attorney's office instead of possibly going to the lawyers only, or even trying to settle it outside of the public domain?
I think in this, there are two ways of looking at it. Let's look at it from the first side of saying that maybe she simply wanted to comply with the lawyer's stance. Let's remember, the Public Protector's Office is governed by the Constitution 1, but most importantly by the Public Protectors Act, which is very clear, I think in Section 3 and Section 4, when it looks to the financial administration of the office. It simply says, yes, you are the Public Protector has been appointed to look at and protect the rights of all South Africans as per the Constitution and as per this particular act. However, we are also going to attach to you the responsibility of managing the finances of this particular office. You may have another person that you can be able to employ, but that person is there to simply assist you. In fact, those are the words which are used in this particular act. So any financial obligation and financial payments which are going to be paid, you are going to be accountable on that one, which is why when there's a clean audit, we say kudos to the Public Protector, she's doing a good job, and we should really applaud her for doing that. Now, this means that any wasteful or fruitless expenditure, any regular expenditure that may be incurred, will also attract to you. What I think the acting Public Protector was saying that let's look at the merits of this particular matter in which we are going to pay for from these coffers. I don't want an adverse order at the end of the day in which maybe one could even allege that the reasons why the court are saying that whenever there are personal cost orders is because you haven't applied your mind as to whether this particular act or this particular litigation was for the interest of the Public Protector's Office or your interest as a person. So what could have been in her mind? She could have said, I don't want to find myself in a predicament that the previous Public Protector has been in. I want to make sure that I'm erring on the correct side of the law. If you want to engage in this particular services and this particular litigation, go and defend it yourself. And if there's any other disagreements that may be there, then let's go to court. And I think the courts will be the appropriate the dispute resolution forum to say, what is the standpoint when it comes to the law? What can be defended and what can't be defended, especially when public funds are involved.
Now, when you look at how this matter also has unfolded in the public domain, the ATM, for example, releasing a statement, very scathing one, towards the acting public protector. I mean, at some point you read in that statement where they say she must stay in her lane. Really, quite a statement that is not holding back at all. I wonder what you make of that particular statement.
Well, we have to give it to the ATM and say to them they are free to make whatever statements that they want to. I think their participation within the political terrain of the country enables them to do that. And if they feel that in certain instances where there's been non-compliance, they are free to voice their concerns. However, there are also dispute mechanism forums or dispute resolution forums that are there. You have the courts, for example, which are always then open to say, if ever you feel hard done by anything, don't only issue statements, also go to court so that you are able to get reprieve. In this case, even the suspended public protector could go to court and say, court or judges, please come to my rescue. I'm being hard done in this particular matter. There are certain things which are not being done in the correct manner. The law is not being interpreted in the correct manner. I need you to come into this particular process so that at the end of the day, you will be able to defend. If you don't do that, there's certain prejudice in which I'm going to suffer, and we need this to lay down the law once and for all. Not only for me, because we must also understand that the Office of the Public Protector has really been active maybe in the past 10 years. So there are many new terrains which need to be traversed, and some of them are actually exactly the ones that you are discussing right now. So the courts are the appropriate dispute resolution forums to go to, and to simply issue statements does not do anything really for the development of the legal jurisprudence of our country or the development of the practices of the particular office. But it's clear on this one. You have two people on a different sides of the room, and all that you need to do is either they come together and reach a certain consensus, or they must go to court and have their matter settled there.
We've got about 20 seconds to wrap this conversation. It's not the first time we are finding ourselves here. I mean, previously we also saw, Thuli Madonsela, for example, Advocate Thuli Madonsela and Advocate Kevin Malunga also, some were saying that there's quite a lot going on in terms of wrangling there. And now we are here. Is it simply a clash of personalities, or is there more going on?
I think it's simply a clash of the interpretation of what the law says. As stated earlier, you have the Constitution and the Public Protectors Act, and it simply depends on how you interpret those particular provisions that are contained in the Public Protectors Act. Some may feel that at the end of the day, I'm also accountable for this particular budget and what happens in this office under my control. I want to make sure that I err on the correct side of the law. If you disagree with me, let's meet in another forum. If you agree with me, then let's continue and do whatever process that is there to make sure that it moves forward. But what is most important for us as South Africans, the duty or the main duty of the Office of the Public Protector must never be forgotten, and must always be able to provide what it's supposed to do at the appropriate time.
All right, Khuzeni, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Do appreciate it. That is Mpumelelo Zikalala, legal analyst, as we're talking about what we're seeing, being laid bare. If you were to read the City Press today, talking about some of the strained relations and tensions between the suspended public protector as well as the acting public protector.